Hey guys, my name is Eric, and I'm joined here with
Jesse Ojeda.
and we're here to talk about the recent film adaptation, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, the 2018 film adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the movie's about?
Well, the synopsis is as follows. Laura is a college dropout, who's dealing with the death of her father. But then she gets a tip. She kind of starts getting into the work her father was in, which leads to more questions about his disappearance. This leads her to the island of Yamatai, right?
Right.
Where she uncovers a plot led by Trinity, and where they plan to revive the mother of death, and Laura makes it her job to stop them, and, without spoiling anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which, by the way, we'll be going into later down the critique. But first, let's talk about where we're coming from. So, as I understand it, you're coming from from the to the film from based on the previous films, correct?
Yeah, I saw the '90s one with Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, she was cute back then.
She was hot, man. I'll be honest. The only reason I saw the movies, man. The only reason, man.
Hey, weren't we all?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they were pretty good. It's '90s, so it was a lot of '90s cheese. But it was okay.
Now I understand that that the '90s films weren't exactly perfect for the most part.
Yeah, there were a lot of random choices.
You ever did? Have you ever seen the other one, the Cradle of Life?
I saw both. Yeah, I saw the first one. I don't remember what that one was about. And then the Cradle of Life one, and I remember because in the cover she was in this really hot, tight, fucking scuba suit and shit. Yeah. I remember that one really well. Yeah, but I mean. Aside from that, they were both pretty the same. '90s cheese.
If you were to give him a score, just based off of that, what would you give him? What would you give him?
So the first one, yeah, a 6.5, and the second one probably a 6, just because it's not as memorable, kind of. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? I remember bits and pieces of the first one.
Now, I've never seen the movies, and I've only been exposed to the Tomb Raider films from the old ones at the very least. Was it just by posters and all that and trailers, and just giving off of as a first impression off of that, I thought I can only assume that it's a decent film.
Yeah, it's okay. You get your money's worth for both of them. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of
Yeah, and as for myself, I've been exposed. I've been truly exposed to the Tomb Raider series by by the games, specifically the rebooted series. Now I've never touched upon the older games because at the time I was a little bit younger. But I will say that the games themselves are fantastic. I'd probably say at least, especially the first game. The first game I really loved. It's definitely something that I would definitely recommend playing. And meanwhile, Rise of the Tomb Raider. While I did enjoy as much as the first game, it's far from perfect. There's issues with the stories, the characters, and but the gameplay is just as solid as the last. And if I had to give them a score right now, it'll be as follows. Tomb Raider, the reboot, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. And as for the reboot, it would be it would be a 7 out of 10.
Okay, it's not bad.
Yeah. It isn't, and I guess you could say that's one of the reasons why we're reviewing the rebooted Tomb Raider, because at least aesthetically and story wise, it borrows heavily from from the rebooted game. And so we're here to critique on the movie itself. So to start with, let's start with what we like about the movie.
Well, I for one like the actress. I think she did a good job. She's really athletic. I don't know her name. I forgot to look up her name. But
I do believe it's Alexandra Vikander. Was it? Don't quote me on that. Okay.
No, she did a good job. You know, I feel like she really embodied the
oh yes, there's like
especially physically. You know, because like we know. Laura's a really physical character, you know. She has to be running through the jungle and shit, fighting bad guys, you know. So I feel like she pulled it off.
Yeah, she is definitely fit, and she fits the character like pretty well, like based especially considering with what she has to work on, what she has to work off with, which we'll get to like momentarily. And I do feel that like that at least coming like as a gamer, like just watching the film, I feel that like they've nailed down like the visuals like of what the jungle is and about the tombs themselves. That's what at least that's what I feel. And at the very least like I do like how at least like how Laura's portrayed, how like and how like the jungle is like overall.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it too. I like the way the jungle is too, the setting. You know, one thing, and I know Eric's probably like sick to death about hearing it, but like
I know we were discussing about this like earlier.
Is that there's not enough night, and I feel that way about a lot of films. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know why it bugs me so much, but it does. Like it's like there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like I'm a vampire, right? Like I like the day. You know, I like the sun and everything, but just when you have only that, it's boring. You know, I want to see night, you know, or if it's going to be day, I want to see like a storm, a cloudy day, you know, rain or some shit, you know. Well, I don't know. That's just me, but...
Well, to be fair, there were moments of like of darkness and night. I mean, you have the you have the storm with the boat,
right?
Yeah, the boat.
Okay,
and then
I'll give you that one.
And then there's the night time where spoiler alert, Laura meets with her father, realizing that he is alive.
But that was really brief, and like right when it turned night, she went up into a fucking cave. Like, so that doesn't count. That doesn't fucking count. Like,
and then there's the whole moment when they finally went to the tomb, they just go deep down into the dark.
But that doesn't count. It's still during the day. Like, I mean, I get it. They're inside, and inside it's dark. But outside it's daylight. Even when they get out, it's day. You know, it's like it's not even sunset. You'd think they would at least. I think don't quote me on this either, but I think in the 90s film there was a moment when it's like sunset. You know, it's like dusk and it's really beautiful. I think it was like a romantic scene where she kisses someone. I don't know, but again, I watched these a long time ago. But at least they used that shit. Like, you know, it was sunset. It was different. You know, it wasn't just day the whole fucking hour and a half and shit. You know. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's, you know, yeah. And I have this problem with a lot of movies, so.
More like a pet peeve.
Yeah, you know, honestly, it is kind of a pet peeve. I can't get over it. I can't, you know. It's just, it bugs me, man. It bugs me, you know. Oh, man.
In that case, then, let's talk about the issues that the film has.
I just brought one.
Now, my personal issue with it is pacing. Honestly, first act is, which is easily the weakest act there is. I have a few bones to pick with that. Honestly, first and foremost, I didn't like the fact that that Laura is this
You're gonna touch on the. I sorry for interrupting. I'm gonna let you continue. I'm like Kanye West now. What I meant is
dated.
No, but what I was gonna say is I think you're gonna bring up a point that I feel strongly about too, but I'm not sure. But
if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna bring it up anyway because it's the first the first act and it's a glaring issue.
Yeah. Go ahead though.
But at least overall, the way that the film structures its acts is painfully obvious. You know what's the first act. You know what's the second act, so on and so forth, I would even argue that it's very predictable as to what's going to happen. Honestly, you have the first act where it's just introducing the character, which I'm not gonna lie, I cringed a little bit when viewing it. It pretty much just goes for the trope of here's this here's this strong, independent woman who don't need no man. I mean, it was just basically obvious. You can even see her like, was it like do a bit of MMA, kickboxing, and then you have her like doing all these like, and then you have her doing like all these stunts, like on that bicycle scene.
The bike scene was really fucking random. Like, what the fuck?
Like why? Like, there was no reason for that to be there.
She didn't even win. That's the thing. She didn't even that pissed me off, man. Like,
oh, that didn't piss me off at all. What pissed me off, on the other hand, was the needless like a romantic scene that happened for like 10, 15 seconds or so. Yeah. I mean, it was just you can tell it's so shoehorned in that by the end of it, it didn't result in anything at all. And we don't even see the romantic interest again at all. Like it's like as though like the writers forgot he existed like after that.
Yeah. But I think the romantic scene was taking shit from the 90s one. Because I think in both of them, again, I don't remember that good. It was years ago, but I think in both of them, she has a romantic interest. However, I feel like it's more explained, more natural, more organic than, obviously, because I agree with you. I mean, you would have never guessed that these people were attracted to each other, and out of nowhere, there's that, like, scene. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's gone, you know? So,
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Now that you mention that, it feels like that it's more running on parody than anything else.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, it could, but that would be giving the writers too much credit.
That's actually a good idea, a good theory that you have. Because, think about it. Laura, in a lot of ways, is like Indiana Jones, right? They're both archaeologists. They're both explorers. They explore the world. And what does Indiana Jones do every fucking movie? He has a different romantic interest, you know what I mean? So, like, in the first one, he has Marion.
Yeah, Marion, and then there's, was it?
The second one is that blonde chick who's always screaming and shit.
Yeah, no one cared about her.
And then,
you're wrong if you actually cared about her, right?
Oh, man. And then in the third one, it's that German chick who turns out to be a Nazi. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but I feel like maybe they were trying to parody Indiana Jones in that sense, but if they did, they didn't do it well. So.
But moving on from the first act to the second act? That's where I would see where I would say that there are obvious parallels between the game and the and the film, and I would argue that it has much better pacing compared to the last act, which was kind of a pain to go through. And and as a gamer, watching the parallels between the game and the film, I can see that they're at least trying trying to mirror the game. You can even tell from the boat scene to when Lara washes up on the shore. I would say that that's actually pretty that's a pretty good a replication of work.
Also, you bring up a good point. There's also a scene they created directly from the video game, right? Mm-hmm. Where she's, I don't remember exactly where it was, but she's escaping, right? Mm-hmm. And she has to climb up an abandoned airplane that's hanging on the waterfall. I believe that was in the video game too, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, that was in the game.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Which was a pretty good set piece, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Though I will say that that the way that they handled the airplane scene was kind of was actually kind of comical, especially when the plane was almost teetering teetering downward, and then with Lara exclaiming "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I did honestly. And keep in mind, I saw the movie before I saw a playthrough. When I saw that, I kind of I didn't laugh out loud, but I was ha, I kind of did
Yeah, honestly,
it was a funny moment, yeah.
It was a funny moment, yeah. That I can definitely agree with. I won't say that it's realistic, because it's far from that.
Yeah, it's at that point you're going into Murphy's Law, Mm-hmm. Everything that will go wrong will go.
Yeah, but
can go wrong. Will go wrong.
Yeah, but taken into a comical direction. But then there's the meeting between Lara and the father. Honestly, I saw that coming from a mile away, because I know that, because otherwise why would you mention the father through flashbacks?
They set it up from the beginning Because there's that whole idea of like why she's not using her inheritance to go through college, get a decent job and or career, and they set it up that like, oh, she believes her father's still there, and that at that moment I'm like, are they gonna do the whole long lost father thing, like
right,
where it turns out he's alive actually or some shit? And that was different because and again, I saw the movie before I saw any of the video games. And but the one thing I did know, and I think it's from the '90s movies, was that both parents are dead. She's an orphan. You know what I mean? So
yes.
I was surprised. Oh, this is different. You know what I mean? Like
that is also this plays the same way like as the video games as well. Like there was little to no mention of the of the parents themselves, especially the father. Like only the father like had like a few moments here and there like where it's just like just flashbacks, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. Meanwhile, like in the film, there's only like there's pretty much the realization that the father is actually alive, and they're but the way that they handle the scene makes it as though there's like some surprise, even though it was painfully obvious. Like
you saw it coming, you know what I mean? I saw it coming, you know what I mean? Yeah,
that is also my issue, like with the entire film. But I will go over that like in a much later time. Yeah. All right. Then the third act is where I guess I'm not gonna where. I did have like this issue, but it's like it's more of like a personal nitpick than anything like that. It's like it took them the film took this long to actually I don't know raid a tomb or something. I mean like judging for the title itself, like I assume that that there's gonna be like some sort of like a tomb to raid.
I had an issue with one of the characters, and it's not a huge issue. The villain. Matthias, I think is his name.
Matthias,
yeah. He was good. I liked him. I like the actor. I've seen the actor, and I think he came out on Justified. He plays, like, the villain really good. And I'm not complaining so much about the actor's portrayal as the writer's portrayal. There's this scene, and... like we mentioned the airplane scene when she's climbing up, and then and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" Where I kind of laughed out loud. There's this scene where she first meets him, and I'm sorry, I think this isn't the first act or the second act, but
second act,
yeah, where she meets him, and he's playing like kind of crazy, kind of deranged. Well, and there's this scene where he says, and then like he's explaining like, "Oh, like I can't go home until I find the tomb and shit." And all this shit, and then he ends up saying this really weird thing that I thought that's not true. It's like I only get to talk to one person, and they say the same thing, and he says it all like dark and shit. You believe it, but the thing is, he's the leader of a whole like fucking group of mercenaries. He has them to talk to. Why is he bitching? The way he said it, it's like he's been stranded. It's like the Tom Hanks and fucking that one Castaway.
Yeah, Castaway, yeah. Like it's honestly odd.
Yeah. It was really. I mean, weird.
I get what they're trying to go for, but it's not. But the way that it's like executed is not very good.
Yeah, when he said that, I literally thought he was gonna pull out like a fucking Wilson ball with like a hat and shit. Like the only person I get to talk to. Like, the way he said it, it's like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude. You have a whole army of mercenaries. You gotta have something in common with at least one of them.
You have mercenaries. You have slaves. You have guns. And the only person that you want to talk to is this little radio. This fucking thing.
It was really weird. Like yeah, you guys are big, mean mercenaries, okay, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like you could still like sit down and have a couple beers with each other. It's
right.
Like, I mean, strictly business, no. Like,
conversate, do something,
or like play cards, man. Like I don't know the way you said it. Like I only get to talk to one person, and they say the same thing. It was really weird. Like I'm like
But I almost thought, outside of the Wilson ball, I almost thought he was gonna go like a little Shakespearean, pull out a skull and just shout poetry.
Or I thought he was even gonna be like creepy with Laura, a little not rapey, but just a little obsessive,
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's how the game kind of was, especially in the beginning.
Really?
There was the scene where
oh, I think I remember.
Yeah, you remember?
They capture her, right?
They capture her, and then they
gets
hey, where are you going? Or something like that. Yeah. So I guess like I thought that's where it was gonna go, but it went a completely different direction.
I thought he was gonna like go up to Laura and be like, "You're gonna be my friend now, right?" Like he it was really weird that he said that. You know what I mean? It was really like, I don't know. That was weird.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
like,
but
that was it.
you know, aside from that, I thought the character was good.
No,
you know, like the actor really pulled
it
off. You know, yeah.
But I do feel that it's a far cry compared to how Matthias was interpreted like in the game. In the game, he's less of a mercenary and more of a cultist. Which I thought like was a really good thing to like for the character, albeit it's a little cliche.
Yeah.
All right, so going back to the third act, I do feel that like that's where like the whole like puzzle aspect comes from, and at least like for a moment I did like it. Was it especially the tumbling floor scene.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that one was actually kind of dope.
That was
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually like on the edge of my seat a little bit.
Yeah. It reminded me of Indiana Jones. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, so I'm like, cool.
I guess that's like where the parallels of like Indiana Jones like starts up.
Yeah, man. So I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no. Although after that scene, like it was like it was more or less like a standard fare. Like they find the tomb of the Princess Himiko. They find out like the twist of being that like she has this disease that where she pretty much just secludes herself from
it's this really aggressive disease that's extremely contagious too, but she's immune to it, so it doesn't hurt her. But because it's so contagious, whenever she touches someone, it spreads. And since like let's say I play the princess's role, right? And like I'm sick with that disease, right? I don't know if there was a name for it, if they presented a name for it, but
there was a name, but I don't think I remember.
It was something really hard and scientific to remember. So let's say I have that disease, but I'm immune. I'm still a carrier though, so I touch Eric, immediately like black growth starts growing.
Pretty much, I turn it,
and then he starts like foaming at the mouth and like he falls over.
But
that's basically like.
But I do, but the characters themselves like do come back as zombies.
They did. Well,
they did.
I kind of figured they were just like so. Like rabies, when you get rabies, you get crazy. I thought they weren't dying, or they were dying. They weren't dead yet. They were just like feral because of the fucking disease and the fever it gave them.
I thought
that's what I thought. I mean, I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, when they shot, when the black guy was contaminated, like they shot him, but then he came back anyway.
They didn't shoot him in the head though, did they?
I don't think so.
Because I figured they shot him here, but like again with the fever, he kind of gets over the pain. He doesn't die immediately.
Well, I mean that's when
he gets over the pain and he just starts.
Yeah, I mean like, he comes back anyway, and that's pretty much like leads into like the death of Lara's father.
Yeah.
Which I say like I had to think. Well, I mean I knew it was gonna happen.
He wasn't gonna make it.
I mean you present this character, but he's gonna die anyway.
Man, yeah.
If it's not from one thing, it's gonna be the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make like his sacrifice like as if as though it means something.
Mm-hmm. I guess it meant something because like
it meant something to Lara, probably.
I kind of feel like it meant something bigger because if you think about it, he helped stop Matthias.
Mm-hmm.
Matthias, I keep saying it weird.
I won't blame you.
Matthias from delivering the sample of her. He helped stop that. Because if he had delivered it, Trinity, which is the evil organization in the movie, I don't know if it ever pops up in the video game.
If I remember correctly, it only pops up in the second game.
Okay. Yeah, well, Trinity, and it's like a totalitarian organization that wants to take over the world, cheesy shit.
Of course.
Yeah. So, he stopped him from, because if they got that shit, they would have been able to either kill 100 billions of lives, actually, or take over the world by force, saying if you guys don't listen to us, we're gonna spread this disease and shit, and it's gonna be bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I kind of felt like his death mattered a little bit, but
I suppose, but at the same time, you can't help but feel that there are better ways to tackle it. I mean, I'm not saying that the ending is bad because, like, if anything, it's pretty standard fare, really. Like, it's was it Lara kills the bad guy, saves the world, and all that, and then returns to the tomb, and then returns from the tomb to was it back to London, and then signs the contract, and then everything's hunky dory.
Except, it turns out the person taking over the company of her father, the one she willingly gave the ownership to, is the leader of the Trinity. She was.
Yeah, which I would say that it came a little it
was
came
kind of out of nowhere, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Because you barely saw that chick, and now she's the main bad guy, like the Thanos of the Tomb Raider.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was what the fuck? It didn't make sense, honestly, because there was no real build up from it outside of outside of the subtle hints that the movie gave from the entirety of the film, from the contract to what was it. To what kind of was it assets that the Croft family owned, and then the Trinity logo was it? I thought well, there's no real was it a signifier or any form of foreshadowing, any meaningful foreshadowing that would result in this chick being being a main
evil
main
mastermind and shit,
right?
But yeah, so I felt the same way. I felt like it was really out of nowhere, It was
right.
But all in all, though, I thought it was okay.
All right, so with all the what we said and comparing it from the movie to the games, and then putting in our own our own input on it,
special touch.
Yeah, let's give this movie a score that we believe it deserves. So let's start with you. Just a few closing statements, and then we'll go, and then you can give the score.
It's always hard for me to do this because I feel like a lot of people worked hard. Not everyone worked hard on this movie, and I think we'll get into that a little later.
Some harder than others.
Yeah, I do feel like the actors really gave it their all, especially the main actress. I think she did a really great job. The villain, I don't know his name either. I'm horrible with names. Aside from that one line, but that's not his fault unless he improvised. But I doubt it. I blame kind of the writers for that line. But still, I feel like the villain did a great, the actor did a great job playing the villain. I liked it all in all. There were some stuff, and I have to compare it to the video game. Because I did, I know I said I'm mostly from from the films of Tomb Raider, but I did end up seeing a playthrough for this review of Tomb Raider, and let's just say I got some stuff to talk about, So based on that, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. Because all in all, I had a good time. I saw the movie. It's not perfect. But it didn't, I wasn't watching my watch the whole time, just, or my phone, I was engaged, you know what I mean? And, does it have problems? Yeah. Do I feel like I wasted my money? No. I had fun, the time went by really quick. I mean, it's a quick movie, but either way,
Well, I mean, it is a short movie, so.
Yeah, so, so I think 5.5 is fair, not bad, So,
well,
5.5 out of 10, so, yeah.
Well, I would admit that I'm a little more apologetic towards the film, especially coming from a fan of the games themselves. I personally like stupid movies. I really do. Even some of the worst films. They do hold.
Did you just say this movie's stupid?
Oh no! Far from it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm an apologetic guy, and I'll give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
And in the case of the Tomb Raider film, just based off of my background, from the games I played, they've done at the very least a decent job. At least all things considered, between because let's be honest here, as much as we want a very good video game adaptation, the reality is that that you can't cram 16 hours of gameplay and just smush it into into a 2-hour or at least in this case 90-minute film. Now there are rare exceptions. There's no doubt about that. But the thing is, you have to keep in mind that like you can't cram it in without making like real sacrifices, and unfortunately, the story itself paid the price for it.
Mm.
But I can't bring myself to hate it. I did like it. It's cliched, honestly, but I'm lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. For what it is, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's slightly above average.
Mm.
That doesn't mean I would recommend watching it. I don't recommend watching it. But it's but it's something that like if it appears like on TV like at one point or another, yeah, I don't mind watching it. I mean, what have we got to lose?
Yeah.
So with that, thank you for watching our review. If you like our stuff, like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. My name is Eric.
My name is Jesse.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.